we will learn Selenium with TestNG framework. Okay, clear? Hello.
Yes.
Yes, and
Hello.
can you also introduce yourself?
Sorry. My name is Harsh. Once again. Right. So my name is Harsha. I have 6 years of experience in both manual and automation testing, and currently, okay. Right. So before starting testing tools, or what is testing tools? Can anyone of you give me a basic idea? I mean, what you think about the word testing? Anyone? What is your basic idea? Not technically, generally, what do you mean by? Generally, what do you understand by word testing?
It's like a verification.
Verification of what? Okay, verification.
The thing which is done on that way, do some verifications if there are any mistakes or something.
Okay, good. So what we are any other? Okay, it's correct only. Any other things?
Functionality.
Right.
Yes, mainly functionality. See, if in a web page, if there is a login, see the testers will do is that one is working or not. Like if you are clicking on login, if not working, I thought like that. I am thinking of like that only.
Right. Everyone is correct. So simply you can say the process of evaluating the software or application, anything with an idea. So what we are trying to identify, so whenever you are testing any application, so mainly we are seeing whether there are any defects. So if there are any defects, so with the idea of identifying the defects or errors. Okay, so this is a simple definition we can tell. So what is testing? So testing is nothing but the process of evaluating the software or application with an intent. Intent is nothing but with an idea of identifying the defects or errors, right? So generally, who is responsible? So the tester is the one who is doing the testing. So tester is responsible for cross-checking application whether it is developed according to the client requirements. Who is giving the requirement for any application? Who will provide the requirements? Hello. If you see an application, who is going to give the requirements?
Could you please repeat the question, sir?
See, if any application is there, who is going to give the requirements or the functionalities for that particular application?
Client.
Yes. So client, there will be for every application, there will be a customer or a client, right? So the client will give you the requirements saying that, okay, this is what are my requirements. So you need, I mean, can you please develop a application or a software based on these requirements, right? So your application should be developed according to the what is client asking, not what the company is deciding or what the developer thinking, right? So it's I mean, we need to check whether the application is as per the requirement given by the client, not the requirements of the developer or the company or the organization, right? Hello.
Yes.
Right. So that is what we need to check. So as a tester, see, not only identifying the defects is testing. So what we need to do, we need to check whether the application is developed what in way the client required. Okay. Uh, Give me 1 second. Right. Yeah, sorry. So a tester is the person who is responsible not only for identifying defects, but also to check whether whatever the client is requiring or how the client is wanted to develop the application, whether it is developed in the client required manner. Okay. So that is the responsibility of a tester. Okay. Uh, any doubts till now?
No, we are good.
No, sir.
Right. Thank
Very
you.
good.
So, okay, now we understood what is testing, but why testing? What is the need of testing? Anybody, what is the need of testing? Why we need to do testing? Hello?
Testing is like any product that has to go on shelf has to be approved by a formal tester, something like that. So
Yeah, why? Okay, okay, you're saying like it should be approved by a formal tester or a testing team. Like a tester should be giving sign off, then only it will be approved. But why we need that process to be done? Why can't we directly deliver a product after it is developed by the developers to the customer or a client?
because the developers develop as per what they can, as per the software that they have, and certain functionalities may not be matching, which they will not do in their testing. So they just do the unit test and say, okay, the data is passing through and fine. That may not be 100% right when the product goes into production.
Okay. Right. So what basically why we are going for testing or why we are doing testing is the first point. So to identify or to reduce the risk. See, if you are doing testing, what you do? We will be identifying the defects to reduce the risk associated with the So why? Because, or you can say you are improving your, you are increasing the confidence in the product to use this application or a software or anything. It may be a product also. So what we are trying, how we are increasing the, how we are reducing the risk and increasing the confidence to use the application. So whenever we are testing before delivering the product to the client, what we are doing, we are identifying the most critical issues, if any, in the application, and we are making it fixed before delivering the product. So automatically, see, when you are saying, see, if you are releasing a product without any testing, you are not sure that your application will work 100% sure. So there is a lot of risk, like there might be some critical issues or serious issues may occur. So there's a lot of risk. So when we are doing a proper testing and you are identifying the defects or making your application, like you can't say 100% bug free, but somewhat you are reducing the most critical defects. You are removing the most critical defects. So what you're doing, you're reducing the risk of the product and improving the confidence in the application, right? Clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So the next thing is, I told you. So what is the main idea of testing? To identify the defects. Why? Identify the defects. Why we are identifying the defects? So that they are not found in operational use, right? So right, so what we are doing, we are trying to identify, like whenever we are doing any testing, so what we do, we'll see whether if there is an issue in the functionality or not. So if there is a defect, we are saying, okay, there is a defect, please fix it, so that you are removing the defect, and you, so that you don't see it in the operational use. If you find the defect in operational use, what happens? There might be a lot of consequences, like uh, it may cause some damage or something to the application or to the user who is using the application, or it may be a product. If you're using a product, if it is not tested properly, it may cause you some damage to the user or the customer, right?
Yes.
See, suppose, let me take an example of a product. See, there are some cosmetics. Okay. So if they are not properly tested and then released into the market, if anyone uses, what happens? There might be some side effects, right? So it may cause some some kind of damage to the user who is using the cosmetics, right?
Yes.
So it may be like, I'm just taking an example, like it may be even to if you take a software, so with this, if you are not properly testing, that defect might cause some other functionality failure, or your complete application may fail, right? So to reduce all this, what we need to do, we need to identify the defects before releasing, and get it done fixed before we are releasing the product to the market or releasing the application to the client. So that is the second point. And third point, I told you, to check if all the committed requirements. So whatever we are saying that we are committing to the client to deliver. Okay. 1 second. Sorry. Sorry. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. To check if all right. So what we are saying, see, whatever we are committed that we are delivering, that we need to check whether we all, I mean, all the committed requirements, what we are trying to commit. So to check if all the committed requirements, like whatever we are committed to deliver, whether all of them are implemented. Okay. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So, right. So clear, right? Like, any doubts still now?
No, we are good. Thanks.
Right. Sorry. So before going to other concepts, can anyone tell what is a software? Before going to discuss what is software testing and what are the different types of software testing, can anyone tell what is a software?
A software is used to perform a tasks. It's a collection to perform a task, like see whatever we want to do with a like
Okay. So right. So okay. So you can say like this. So the process of converting, see what you are doing. So generally any application or any software, what is that? It is a thought process. Like you're getting the thought and you are implementing it, right? So we can say, I mean, generally you can say simply, yeah. So the process of converting an imaginary thought. See, your thought process is imaginary, right? So you're just thinking some idea. Idea is imaginary, right? So the process of converting an imaginary thought into reality. So what you're doing, you're converting that idea into a real application. It may be a product or it may be a software, whatever it is. See, your imaginary thought, what you're doing, you're converting into a practical application or a practical product. That means you are converting the imaginary thought into reality. How you are converting? How we are converting? By writing some set of programs, right? So by writing some set of programs, we are converting the imaginary thoughts or ideas into reality, right? So that is called software. So there are two types of softwares. One is project. Second one, product. So what is the difference? Can anyone tell me what is the difference between a project and a product in your idea?
Maybe a project is independent and product is like a group.
How, I mean, how can you say, like, what kind of independent, what is a group?
Like there
project
is.
means.
Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Hello.
Okay. Project
Yeah,
means
tell me.
like it is from client. We can think it as a client for a
Okay.
specific person. We are doing that project.
Okay.
For the requirements.
Okay.
Product means I think it will be how can I example? As a customer base, like it have multiple users, maybe based on market requirements like that.
Right, exactly. So project is always a requirement from from specific
Harsha,
person. Yeah.
Harsha, this is Hemant. One
Yes,
second, Harsha. Jagdish, we don't have your number. Can you please share it in chat window? Yeah, carry on, Harsha. Thank you.
Yeah. So exactly. So what you said, right? So requirement from any specific person or a client. Okay. So that is called a project. For example, you can take Facebook, Amazon, and what else you can say? Like all these, like Facebook, Gmail. Yeah, I mean Facebook, Gmail, and all these are like projects, right? So because they are all requirements from that person who is designing the application, right? So these are called as projects. That means requirements coming from a specific person is called a project. And if your requirements are coming from based on a market requirement, based on market is nothing but the public. So requirements from market. Okay, requirements from market or based on a market, like based on a public requirement. So if you take a car or a mobile or a TV or fridge, how they are making different products. So in car you see different models of car, or in mobile you see different models of mobile and different specifications, everything. See, there are a lot of mobiles with different specifications. Why?
Yes.
Why? Because it is like I mean, not everyone are requiring the same thing, right? So you're not, I mean, see, I'm using some mobile which I wanted. I mean, based on my requirements, I'm selecting one model of mobile. But if you are taking another person, his requirements may be different, so he is choosing another mobile. So based on the requirements that are coming from the public, they are manufacturing or they are making different kinds of, I mean, it may be a mobile or a car, different cars, different types of cars we see, or different types of mobiles we see, right? So that is called as product, right? You'll call a car or a mobile as a product, not a project, right? Why? Because they are dependent on the requirements or whatever the public is require. I mean, what is the public is demanding, right? Clear? Hello?
Yes.
Clear?
Yes.
Right. So next thing I'll discuss about 4 similar words. Okay, error, defect, bug, and failure. Okay, so what are the difference between all these? See, if you think about them, all looks like a same thing. Okay, but they are different. In how way they are different? So error is nothing but a man-made mistake. So let us say it's a man-made mistake or it's a human mistake. So you are not writing the syntax properly, or you are doing some other division kind of error, or it may be any kind of error. Error is nothing but a human mistake. Error is nothing but a human mistake which we are not doing in the right way. I mean, we are not doing in the intended way. We are doing some kind of thing that is throwing an error. Okay. It is not writing in an intended way. That is called as error. Like you can say syntax errors, or there might be some whenever you are doing any operation, it may be an input error or something. Okay, maybe you are entering a wrong data. These are called as errors. Okay. So whatever we have to do in the right way, we are not doing in the proper way. That is called as error. A defect is nothing but the reason for a for a deviation in a behavior. So you are expecting some behavior in the application. Okay. So the reason for a deviation in behavior is called the defect. That means you can say you said like so if you are trying to log in, when you are giving right details, and if you are trying to log in and it is not logging in, then it is a deviation. So what is your expected behavior? So deviation, like say you are expecting, if you are giving right details and trying to log in, you have to log in, but it is not letting you log in. That means you are expecting something but it is not happening. That means there is a deviation in your expected behavior, right? Are you following me? Hello? Hello?
Yes.
So whenever you are expecting something to happen but it is not happening, that means there is a deviation with your expected behavior. So what is the reason for that? Is nothing but your defect. And whenever you have something and it is causing you some issues, some error, the reason this defect will lead you to a bug. Bug is nothing but whenever the testers or when developers will accept your defect. Okay. So when developers accept the defects, then it is called as a defect. Okay. Then it's called as a bug. Okay. And finally, failure is nothing but when a user identifies a defect. When a user identifies a defect or a function, whenever a user identifies a defect, then it is the completely failure of a functionality, right? So that is the difference between all these four terminologies that we are using in any programming. Any IT industry, we use all these words like error, defect, bug, and a failure. So error is like it's a human mistake. We are not doing in a right way or in an intended way. That is a error. Defect is nothing but the reason why there is a deviation in your behavior. Okay. And the bug you can call the deviation of the behavior, or whenever you can say like this, a bug is nothing but the deviation. Why? There is a deviation, right? So you are expecting something but there is not, it is not happening in that expected way. So that is called a bug. Right. So that is a bug. And a failure is like, so whenever a user finds an issue in the application, that is failure, because you already released the product and the customer is not able to implement that functionality. So that functionality is failed. Okay, clear? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you able to follow me, or I'm going too fast?
No.
No,
I'm okay with that.
Right.
We could follow, yeah.
Right. So any doubts? Yeah, please ask me. Don't hesitate. At any point of time, you can ask the defect. If you have any doubts. Any doubts?
Sir, about bug deviation in expected behavior.
Yeah. See, defect is the reason why there is a deviation in the expected behavior is your defect. The bug is like you are reporting a bug. You are saying, okay, there is a deviation in your behavior expected. So what I'm expecting is not happening. Why it is happening? So that reason is nothing but the defect, and the deviation is called as bug.
Okay.
Clear?
Means it is a fault in design, like that.
Sorry.
Means bug means I am not getting it correctly. Actually, if bug
See,
means is there any
you are
fault in design or
checking the login
development?
functionality. So you are checking a login
Okay.
functionality. So whenever you are checking a login functionality, what you are doing? So you are giving username, password, and then clicking on sign in button. So if you are giving right username and right password, still if you are clicking on login, it is not logging you in. Then that is called a bug. That means you are expecting. What is your expectation when you give a right or valid credentials?
It should, yes, I got it. If you are giving the valid credentials, it should be logged in.
You should be logged in, but it is not logging in. So that is a, so your expected is you should log in, but it is not, it is not logging in. That means whatever you are expecting, that is not happening.
Okay.
So that is called a bug.
So
Okay.
the tester basically will be identifying all the bugs and report it back to the development.
Identify the bugs and
Yes.
the reason behind why it is not getting you logged in, even though you are giving the valid credentials. That reason is called as defect. Okay. So you are saying, okay, I am not getting the expected behavior, but why you are not getting the expected behavior? That is defect. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Clear?
Yes, clear.
Right. Right. And failure is like you tested, like we tested all the things, but somewhere we missed something. So when user identifies that defect or anything, I mean, he's trying to implement, he's trying to, use some functionality, but it is not working. So that functionality, what happened? It failed. That's called a failure. Failure means you already released after testing and all the things we released into the market, but with some reason it is not working. So that is called a failure. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So we'll see in the next class. So we'll see in the next class the next concepts like what is SDLC and all. Okay. Any doubts in this class? Hello.
Yes, regarding the course, so you said like
Yeah,
you will cover automation.
every session we'll have a recording, and you can refer. I mean, you can see the recording back, and whenever you have a doubt of previous classes, you can see the recordings.
So can you also detail how long the course will be and what will be the time duration? And,
it will be at least like, see, the manual will take around 12 to 15 days. And Java concepts, it may take like 2 to 3 weeks. Like because
3 weeks?
so many concepts, right? Because we need to discuss like we need to start from the basics of the programming, and then we need to discuss all the object-oriented programming concepts, and then apart from the object-oriented programming, we have something called as exception handling, and what are the different types of collections we have. All these concepts, there are so many concepts. So we need to discuss. For Java concepts, it will take like at least 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Maybe even more, right? I can't exactly give you a timeline. Like, let us say it will take 1 month for Java concepts.
Okay.
And for automation, it will take around 1.5 months. So there are a lot of automation concepts, like how you are identifying your locator, or how to identify an element first of all, and then how you are performing a type operation. And I mean, there are a lot of things, how you are controlling your testing, and what are the different concepts you have, like how to select a date from a calendar. Okay. Or how to handle the pop-ups. So we'll have a pop-up window. Sometimes in some applications, if you click on something, it will open a new window instead of in the same page. So how can you handle like that kind of situation? Like from the normal window, how can you go to other window and then identify or do the operations on those fields or functionalities? How can you do that? I mean, how you'll write a scripts for that? Okay. So there are a lot of concepts. So it will take around 1.5 month for Selenium. So all together, it will be like 3 to 3.5 months.
Okay. And like, do you give something for practice or?
For when we start automation, there will be some practice websites. So you can try, or you can try on the real-time applications like Gmail or not Gmail. Maybe you can try. We can try on Facebook or Amazon. So these are all real-time applications. So you can practice on them. Or else there are some practice websites which I'll provide you. So you can practice the concepts on those websites.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, and it will be like a daily thing, or like how many days a week, or how does it go?
We have 6 days per week. Like Monday to Saturday we'll have classes.
What will be the timing?
Timing. Actually, I have a batch on 9:30 to 10:30. Maybe if we'll start, like we'll be starting at 8:30 to 9:30.
8:30 to 9:30.
Any other doubts?
No, sir. I am clear from my side.
Okay, then we'll see on tomorrow. Okay. Right. So we'll see tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
And one more thing, like who is the point of contact? Like the chat is disabled here. I'm not able to reach the person.
I think you can contact from any person in the institute. I think they will be giving you the numbers who you have to contact.
From the pamphlet, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll meet tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.